It's Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Get those nerds! 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 What? Clobberanimo! It's clobbering time! I just love clobbering time!
Yeah, and other fun noises. Hey. Welcome to the beginning of a week. Welcome everyone to greetings, my friends, to Clobberin Times, number 561 on YouTube, number 1,261 overall in this week of my 14th anniversary as a podcaster. I always view this as a radio show now, even though we have the visuals of YouTube, and I've been on YouTube for 2.5 years, I guess, and I love it. I love the venue, but it'll always be conducted and run like a radio show. That's why I don't really go on camera. I never had, not just because I'm my ugly mug, which is also part of it, let's face it, but also because I always like the feel of a radio show, more of a podcast. And that's what it always will kind of be to me personally. I mean, we use some of the visual things, advantages that YouTube has that my old venue did not, but for the most part, we are here as a radio show, a podcast called Clobberin Times. Initially, for the first 700 episodes in 11 years, it was Clobberin Time, but on YouTube, it's the same show. We just added an S in parentheses, Clobberin Times, and that's what we are. 14 years of that. But last week, it marked about the 14-year mark. So now we kick off the next 14 years, at least. Who knows how many, but greetings, my friends. Happy Monday. Monday night Mark C. Comics talk, just kind of open geek foolishness, which means we will just, we'll geek out together, you and me. Take care of a little show business first, though. Some show beeswax first. How about that? Firstly, I want to thank everyone who joined my wonderful first officer, Raquel, and myself for Saturday Night Star Trek this past week. It was a ton of fun. You guys were fantastic. Just great stuff. And so I cannot thank you enough. You're extraordinary. And it was a lot. Well, again, like I said, great deal of fun. Had a great fun last night on our good buddy Mark D's Sunday Night Geekery. That is always a pleasure as well. Love it. Mark D, the chief engineer, he's the man. And then today, again, what fun I had. Our good buddy J-Man, I see you're out there, buddy. I don't know if you're still with me at starting time, but on J-Man's channel, the great J-Man's channel, number 2 of our J-Man's Legion of Super Heroes reviews. We're doing it from the beginning, all the Legion appearances from 1958 to 1989. At least that's where I break off. He could keep going. It was cool. But that's the only Legion that matters to me. And today we had he and our good buddy Sean and I had a lot of fun. I just really love doing that. J-Man, it is so much fun. You guys are fantastic. You and Sean are great. Reviewing Adventure Comics 267, the second appearance of the Legion, and the third appearance, coincidentally, was Action Comics 267. And next week we'll have 2 more. And I cannot wait. What a blast that was, J-Man. So much fun, buddy. And then let's see. Show notes, of course. Last night on the Geekery, the great Tom Connors of Midnight's Edge After Dark popped in and hung out with us. That was a lot of fun. I want to thank Tom for that. And it's Mark's show, Mark's channel, and Mark was also very appreciative of it. But we both thank him for that, hanging out with us. And on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights, he is gracious enough to have me a part of his august group on Midnight's Edge After Dark on that fantastic, amazing channel. About what was it? 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be on there again tomorrow night. And Wednesday night, I don't know for sure, but hopefully the great Stone Loki, my good friend, and the great 24/7 Fusion Media, and I will be getting together for the comic book roundtable, if possible. I'll be there, but I never know exactly for sure. That's all I'm saying at that. So I'm saying it like that. And man, and again, Wednesday nights of the wild card here on Clobberin Times at 9 p.m. Central Standard. And sometimes it's wild card, anything goes, or just me hanging with you guys shooting the shoots. And other times it's open for a topic. This wild card Wednesday night, I'm proud to present to you another Clobby's Classic Comic Review, this time with a fantastic special guest, a guest of iron, a gentleman that I've wanted to do this with a long time, to have on for a long time, the ultimate Iron Man expert. And I don't mean ultimates either. I mean, just a great Iron Man expert. The extraordinary wrench himself, D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron, will be joining me. We'll be reviewing Iron Man Volume 1, Number 6, by the great Archie Goodwin, the great George Tuska, and the great Johnny Craig from 1968. A review of, it looks to me like, well, we won't spoil it. We'll let you see. We'll tell you, you'll see for yourself what that comic is all about. And as always, Thursday night, the Clubhouse will be in session. Clobby's Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark and I to review some more Tales of Tomorrow, some Jerry Anderson's UFO and other stuff. And so looking forward to that as always. And then, of course, was it on Nick's show on Friday night? Don't forget. And how could you forget that we will be reviewing it'll be part 3 of our comic shop guys review of Warlock, Jim Starlin's Warlock run from the early 70s, the classic run. This is shows part 2 here, but that will be part 3. So I'm looking forward to that. And then finally, we'll finish up the week on Saturday Night Star Trek, back for the Saturday Nighter with 4 more episodes of Season 6 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Now, some shout-outs. A few shout-outs to our great wrenches and all of our other friends in the chat, of course. And whether they're here or not, they get the shout-out. If they're a wrench, of course, the great Derek K., the Bronze Wrencher, Vindicated Wrench of the North, Chris Persia. Thank you, buddy, for all you do. The aforementioned great Wrench of Iron, D. Bud Martin, the Chief of Security and God of Wrenches, Lord Thoth. And of course, shout out to the lovely Lady Thoth. Avon lives and long live the Legion. I'll range without fear, my partner in crime on earth, be and fellow Legionnaire reviewer, J-Man, the great J-Man, that is, of course. Good to see you, buddy. Had so much fun tonight, man. Thank you again. The master of the Clobberin, artist supreme and cover artist of the extraordinary book Science Fiction Tales by R.M. Briggs, Hungry Boy. Kal-El, Super Wrench Supreme, Big Maddie's Daddy, the Thor of Vegas, Wielded of Wrench Meander, and of course the great Phantom Outsider, the Fanty, the Outsider. And let's see here who is with us other than our wrenches so we can shout out. Let's see here. The Comic Relief Crusader. What's up, bud? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hope you're doing well. Gwagnar. Let's see who else is there. Hang on. Hojo. Hello there, Hojo. Good to see you. Always honored to have you. Cardinal Sin. Hey, Cardi. What's up, Gil? Thank you for the $2.99 super sticker. You are too kind, my friend. I really do appreciate that. And let's see here. What do we got? What kind of sticker is it? Ah, cool. Well, thank you, buddy. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Cardinal. Your Muslim uncle, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. I hope you and yours are doing well this evening. Let's see here. Tuska and Dita. SP4H, good evening. Hey there. Pat S., what is up, my brother? Hey, salting traveling nerd, what is up, my friend? Good to see you. I hope you are doing well. Hey, shout out to Purple for me. I haven't talked to Purple in a while, and we love Purple Valkyrie. I need to get her back on and review a comic book with her. We've been planning for a while, so I need to shout out to her, of course. But that is, of course, again, Salty Traveling C. Please seek out his channel. I don't have a link on me at the moment, but if anyone knows the link to Salty's channel, please, of course, anyone who has not subscribed to his extraordinary channel, please do so. He has a great channel over there. He does his stuff. And, of course, he hangs out with our wonderful friend, Purple Valkyrie, on hers. So, good to see you there, partner. Well, just kind of an open geek comics talk tonight here on Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk, named after our great long-lost pal, Mark C, of course, the great Mark C. So what's going on out there? It's comics, and I tell you what, I cannot, again, stress enough how much fun it is to review these old comics and to talk about the old stuff like I was doing with J-Man on his channel tonight. Chris Persia, there you go. Oh, and D-Bud. D-Bud, both of them, you got it. There you go. There's Salty's channel. Please, anyone who has not, please go subscribe to his channel. There you go. Yeah, I know. It's always so late when I do the show. That's very late for Purple, so I get it. Unfortunately, I miss her, though. I really miss her. She's wonderful. And hopefully one of these days soon. So, anyway, it's been having and we'll get more people. More will pop in later, because usually on these Monday nights, it's kind of weird. No one really kind of shows up for the first hour as much. I don't know. But, oh, by the way, last week we had Mr. Jason Sandberg on. Talking about his new crowdfunded comic, his extraordinary crowdfunded comic that he's got going on called Jupiter, and there's a link in my description below to that. And he will be joining me again next week to talk more about Jupiter, his crowdfunded comic book. So, looking forward to that. It will not be a rockin' Jupiter of a time. So. Anyway, what's going out there in the world? See, nothing new is going out there in the world of comics. We know that, right? Because new comics are bollocks. They are poop. Ooh. By and large. Nobody cares about them. Nobody needs them. They're just kind of bleh and dross. Man, the last time I walked into a comic shop, when I look at the new racks, I mean, I'm telling you, man, it makes my eyes bleed. Almost everything about them just makes my skin crawl now, the new stuff. Even stuff that, I mean, it doesn't, again, stuff that I don't know much. I don't even know what it is. So I don't know if it's full of things that we don't like in terms of, messaging. It just looks, that's part of getting old. I get that part. It just looks like it's so not what I like to see. But it's also part of it's just you don't want to call it's not a dead art form by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not a thriving one, and it's certainly not a healthy one. Here, obviously, manga is. And they don't even call them comics. They call them manga. And manga does very well. You manga fans, you got it made. I mean, I'm just not a manga guy myself. But if you're into that stuff, you've got it made. Because they do a lot of things that people are really excited about. Not so much over here, Glenzer. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I see what you're saying, Glenzer. Says, I wish I had taken a ton of photos of my LCS, local comic shop, back in the 80s. Great stuff. Me too. I wish I had taken a lot of pictures. I took pictures of my shop and other shops, but it's not the same. We didn't have our phone and all that kind of stuff. Salty says, I got some copies of the reprints of the Chuck Dixon Wheel of Time graphic novels. Not new, but damn good, faithful adaptations. Cool. Yeah. Chuck Dixon's amazing. Incredibly prolific writer. Good dude. And one of us, definitely. Incredible. But, earlier tonight when it's kind of funny when we were reviewing those 2 issues of the Legion of Superheroes. And I know everyone's not a Legion fan, so I'm not going to bore you with that so much. But one of the funny things about it is the first week we just reviewed Adventure Comics 247, which was the first appearance of the Legion, not from 1958. This week we reviewed the following 2 appearances in Adventure Comics 267 and Action 267, because we're doing these in chronological order of appearance. They won't have their own title for some time yet. And one of the things we notice how much changes. How raw things were in these early appearances, and now eventually the Legion that by the time I started reading them, and a lot of us started reading them, they were so different from those early appearances. It's just amazing. So it shows to show that they really did kind of flying by the seat of their pants back then. It wasn't like the FF that starts out with an origin, or or other Avengers or whomever, even the X-Men, who started a certain place where there's a beginning point. It took a long time for them to establish the Legion origin. Fanty says, they're definitely weird, J-Man. That's BS, Clobberin Times. What do I do now? The new books are crap. If you walked into a store with real comics, old ones, you'd still want to buy them. Same when we look at that Mike's Amazing Comics World site. Yeah, I don't know what I said. Did I not say that? The new books are crap. Yeah, that's what I said. If you walked into a store, I think I said that, didn't I? With real comics, old ones, you'd still want to buy them. Yeah. And now, I don't know what I said that was BS, dude. I think you're being weird, or just misinterpreting, or maybe mistyping. Pat S says, I like the last TMT Ronin. That TMT last Ronin was really good. The Turtles are usually good for me. No, yeah, I'm not saying there aren't good things coming out. Just not for me particularly, but a lot of people are liking some good stuff. Yeah, but J-Man liked that last Ronin as well. He says it's going to take J-Man and Clobby to go through every Legion comic. Only we can do it. With Sean, of course, as well. Don't forget Sean. When I saw X-Men movie 2000, I thought comic movies have arrived. Now I want comic movies to depart. I hear you, Glinter. Here he goes with the explanation. It's going to be worse than the first one. What you said? What you see, you don't like. You don't like them because they're crap, not because you're old. They're just. Oh yeah, I mean, no, that's not what I was saying. I said, as far as the aesthetic is concerned, I don't like the way they've changed the way they look. I guess what I should have been clear. Yeah, most of them are crap, but I haven't read all those. I just don't like. My aversion is when I just look at them. I mean, there could be a decent comic amongst them, and I don't like the way they look, so I'm kind of averse to all of it on there anyway. Yeah, most of them are. I mean, look, I agree they're crap, but I haven't read them all either, Fanty. What I'm saying is, and I'm with you, they look like crap, but there may be a diamond in there somewhere and all that stuff. It's just that I don't like even the modern aesthetic of comics, is what I'm saying. So I'm saying, as part of it's being old, like I don't like what any of the modern stuff looks like either. So, but you're right. It's not just because of being old. I'm just saying there's sometimes I can admit some of the stuff doesn't appeal to me because it's just a modern aesthetic that I don't care for. But I see what you're saying now, Fanty. Yeah. Kal-El says, I don't want the comic movies to depart necessarily, just the current quote-unquote creatives behind them. Yeah, boy, that'd be nice. Their aesthetic is also crap, but most of them, a parent wouldn't put it on a refrigerator. True. Oh, look. They're horrible. I mean, they're horrible. I just can't even. Yeah. So no, I'm with you. I mean, for example, Fanty, sort of like when I look at the comic rack with the new stuff, my reaction is that I'm like, ugh. And if I look up on the wall and see all the the silver and bronze and stuff up there on the wall, which is usually what's on the wall, it just makes me feel more comfortable. I like that better. It could be comics that I thought were crap at one point, and it looks better, feels better, if you know what I mean. So usually when you walk into a comic shop, if it's one that carries back issues and they've got stuff on the wall, and it's older stuff, just look around the wall. Don't even look at the racks. That's the way I do it. But then again, I don't go looking for anything anymore anyway. I've been getting that Paul Levitt's Alan Davis Avengers War Across Time. Aside from that, I ain't buying nothing new. And J-Man, dude, it's gonna take us a long time to get through the Legion, buddy. But I'm willing to do as much as you want. If you want to go through every appearance, or if you want to skip stuff, or whatever you want to do. But I'm ready to go all the way through every appearance. The evolution will be extreme, but extraordinary. The books used to make you want them. Now the new ones make you want to throw them in the garbage. I agree, Fanty. Boy, do I ever agree. At least me and you, anyway. I don't know about everybody else, but most of the people I know. Like I said, though, there are even people in our age group, Fanty, that still buy a lot of the stuff. So what you going to do? Pat says, I hate how expansive books are now too. And they were so accessible when we were kids. Even the poor, broke kids could afford 75 cents or $1. But I remember thinking 75 cents was outrageous. It's when you started, though. When I started, they were right at 20, going to the 25-cent range. When Fanty started them, they were a 10 cents. Because I'm kidding. They were probably 12 cents when he started. Maybe 15, but I'm thinking 12 for his case. since they started at 12 around 61 or 62 or something like that. Oh boy, but now what's the point? They're all just ridiculously expensive. But who wants to look at something cool that I bought? Every now and then I like to show it. We're not gonna there we are. Bop, 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 bop. I don't show it all because then I could get in trouble, but I got me some new TwoMorrows stuff. Yay. Stepping out to Kirby. Yay, brother. Darth Scipio. What do you say? Hey, Dave C. Good to see you too. All right, Darth Scipio. What's happening? Let's see what Darth Scipio has to say to us this evening. Hey, Clobby. You need to do a stream about my passions, which are Mad Magazine, Heavy Metal Magazine, Starlog, and Famous Monsters of Filmland. Well, you know what? That's a good idea. I love Mad Magazine, and I should do something about that. I never was big on heavy metal, to be personally, Darth, so you wouldn't really want me doing it. I have nothing against it, but I don't have any kind of really a lot of experience about it. I've done a few things about Starlog, and we'll even do a few more. So Starlog, yes, I've done that a lot, and I do more. And I love Famous Monsters of Filmland. I used to buy it, so I will do something that talks about those mags for sure. Yeah, oh yeah, no question about it, man. I love Starlog. So again, I like heavy metal fine. I just never really bought it all that much, so I can't say I'm one who is equipped to do. For me personally, I would never, unless I had someone, riding shotgun with me that knows the subject. If it's a subject that I'm not that super well versed on, you'll never see me try to tackle it at all. And I see a lot of, and what I mean is, I do see a lot of people from time to time, various types of formats. I'm not nailing anybody who will try to tackle a subject or a topic, or will try to speak on a topic that you can tell that it's not really something they know very well or are very passionate about, but somehow, some way, trying to told them that they should be doing it. There are plenty of topics I don't know much about, so you won't hear me. You won't hear me go off on it. I mean, if I have somebody on with me that is an expert on it, of course, that's different. And by the way, here's one of the things I'm working on that's going to be tough. Where'd I put it? It's going to take me a while, but next month, I'm going to do this. I've been planning on it for years, and this is not easy. But I'm going to compile my top 25 favorite all-time comic book stories list. And no, these figures aren't necessarily spoilering anything much. Mad Magazine and Starlog Magazine were great. Clobby or RMB turned me on to the back issues. Yeah, they got a place where they got all the Starlog on there for free. I still have all my Starlog magazines. I love it. So this is going to be a toughie here for me. Maddie's daddy, what's up, buddy? Going to be tough. But can I do it? I'm sorry, what's wrong with this sword thing? There you go. All right. Hey, Brian Hepburn. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. What's up, Maddie's daddy? You wonder what Watchmen will be. You never know. You know, it's funny you mentioned that, J-Man. One thing I can tell you is, as much as I am a Watchmen freak, it may not be as high as it once was on my list that I did like this. I'm just saying, may not. I'm actually rethinking some things. Rethinking some things, and I don't know. I'm not too sure where it's going to be. It'll be on there. I mean, obviously. So this one's giving me some fits. Once you get past the top 10, it's tough to come up with, what. Well, I mean, hey, Keely Chow, roll tide. I'll put it to you like this. The quandary here is I wasn't sure how I was going to do this, so decided they're going to be what I call stories, not runs, stories. For example, they're writer-artist teams that had quote-unquote runs on serious comics. For example, Walt Simonson's Thor run is fantastic, but he had a bunch of different story arcs and stories, as well. Or the Kirby run on FF, there are 102 issues of that. I'm not going to just put that in the category of, in other words, but I will do individual stories or that are multi-parted. And in some cases, like the Grant Morrison run, Animal Man 1 through 26 is one story in of itself, in a sense. Yeah, Gwagnar. Triple I presents Clobby's top 25 favorite comic book stores. Yes, exactly. However, some series you'll have like one issue from it, a one-off story. Other ones, it's going to vary, but they're all going to be stories, and some stories lasted a lot longer than others. He mentioned Tripwire. Sorry, Hungry Boy. Hey, you don't want to be triggering Hungry Boy with the mentioning of Tripwire around uphill, round hill, my friends. So I'm looking forward to this. Or am I? Because, man, I always think I can tackle this one, and I always end up putting it off because after the first 10 or so, then I keep wanting to rearrange stuff, and it's tough. There's so many stories. Oh, 25 is going to be brutal. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. No one's going to be happy with it. Avengers Defenders story equals one story. Yeah, why do you go? Yeah, I agree with that, Fanty Outsider. Absolutely, Ishness. Cinema Gulp, hey there, good to see you. See, Gwagnar, I understand but it's 175 issues. I mean, that's 75 issues plus 4 annuals. I don't know if I would consider it's a long, continuous. I understand story, but it's so much of a series that I would never put a whole run. Just like I said. A run, I'd say that's a run. I'd say that when you get up to 170, 1 through 75 or 75 issues, I would call it a run. And just like Kirby's FF run is 102 issues. It would be hard to get to 25. No, it won't be hard. It won't be hard for me to get to 25. It's what to leave out is going to be the problem for me. I don't know what we have to say. It makes no difference anyway. Whatever it is, I'm against it. Even when you've changed it or condensed it, I'm against it. I'm betting most of Clobby's 25 are going to be from the Bronze Age. You might be surprised. You might be surprised there, Mr. Pat S. Oh, a lot of it will be, but I mean, you won't be surprised. I'm not saying there'll be none. It might even be the majority, but it's not going to be all. Believe it or not, it won't all be Bronze Age. So, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that's going to be fun. What the hell? And if you want to see some Starlog magazine, Darth Scipio. Hey, this is for you, Darth Scipio. If you're still here, buddy, have a gander at some Starlog magazine just for you. All right, J-Man, be seeing you, buddy. There you go. Because I love looking at those covers. Yeah. You like that, man? I like it too. I could look at Starlog covers all day because this is a comic show night. I can't do it for long here, but we'll do it another. Matter of fact, maybe on the clubhouse or whatever, we'll do it. But aren't those great? There you go. But this is comics talk, so I thought it'd be fun to show those anyway. I love them. So anyway, I love me some Starlog. Yeah, anyway. So share screen. Oh my goodness. A new acquisition for a couple. The new issue of the Jack Kirby Collector, my digital edition from TwoMorrows magazine. And yes, don't worry, TwoMorrows. I don't show whole mags or anything. I just show little excerpts here and there, but to promote your wonderful magazines because I love them so much. When I have every issue of the Jack Kirby Collector, and of course, this is issue number 85. Think about that. It's issue number 85, and it's been going since like 1995 or 90, whatever. So, but great mag, great publishers, and this issue. Good night, J-Man, buddy. I appreciate you, by the way. This issue is, of course, about, well, Jack Kirby animated. A little bit of Kirby animation. I don't really have any pictures of heavy metal available at the moment, but you never know. Might do that one night for you, Darth. I might just do that for you. Let's see. Cinema Golf says, was wondering what you thought of Marvel's Stalkers by Jen Sternad and Mark Verheiden, art by Mark Texeira. It was one of my faves as a teen. I don't think I like Jen Sternad, and I like Mark Verheiden. I like Mark Verheiden's book, The American, but I did not buy that series. Was that an Epic book? Was that for Epic or maybe not Epic? I know, and Mark Texeira is a good artist. I actually know, I have some mutual friends of his, but I never met him. Claude's here. Minimus is here. But you know what? Cinema Gulp, I never read that comic. I'm familiar with it, seen it, but I have not read it. I'm sorry. Oh, man. So I love TwoMorrows. Jack Kirby animated. Look at Jack. The man. From the 90s, huh? I mean, I've seen it, no doubt. John Juggy Rupus. What's up, Sean? Good to see you, bud. Yeah. So there's Jack, of course, who some of his early career worked on animation on Popeye for the Fleischer Studios. Beavis and Butthead with usually the Watcher, basically. So this is a cool issue. Just got it. Well, just ordered it. I haven't got my physical copy yet, but I love the digitals of these too. Though it's just so good to, you don't have to mess up your mag. But of course, Fantastic Four cartoons 67 through from 67 to 68, which was really great. The Gantry Lawrence cartoons, working with Hanna-Barbera. They had 20 episodes. They won't put them out on freaking Blu-ray or DVD, damn it. Alex talked to the main characters' designs, but Kirby got squat for it. Oh, boy. Wow, they got some, oh, my goodness. Anyway, I'm not showing it all, so I don't get in trouble. But there's Herbie. Animation is life, indeed. Maddie's daddy buddy. What's up, bro? Yeah, so yeah, the rocky evolution of the Thing. Also in this issue. Well, you know I love that. The Ruby Spears. I have these trading cards. I've showed stuff from them before. Where you know he did all these crazy concept art, and all these ideas for Ruby Spears. And the only thing that really got made was the one that he worked on. He worked on Thundar with him, of course, but none of all this stuff he gave them. It's incredible. For none of it to get made, it's just awful. Joe Ruby passed, of course, unfortunately, recently. I have the card set of these. It's incredible. They should have tried to at least make some of these. Crazy stuff, too. Oh, man, are they nutty, man? In the best sort of Kirby way. Look at the Kirby goodness pouring off of that one. Yeah, D-Bud, I'm with you, man. I love that the 67 FF cartoon. It's my first exposure to the Fantastic Four. That's how I first heard about, first saw him, and I was very, very young. Mighty Orbots. Ruby Spears, indeed. Yes. Ruby and Spears. Ruby and Spears. Ruby and Spears. So, yeah, great stuff. And there's this guy here. That's for sure, Fanty. That's right. The original, those Gantry Lawrence cartoons were pretty much all Kirby art, or not all, but a lot of it, most of it probably, yeah. Unbelievable stuff. Beautiful stuff. I'll see. Can't show everything from an issue, of course, but show a few things. So, yeah, that is the that's the Jack Kirby Collector, number 85. Focusing on Kirby and animation. And I just love it. Love it. Yeah. So there you go. Cool stuff. And again, like I said, I've been getting the Jack Kirby Collector since it first came out in the mid '90s. I remember when I came out, there were only a couple issues out, and hey, Oliver Belamonte, good to see you. And I remember ordering that from Mr. John Morrow, and they were like black and white pamphlets at that point. From then on, never missed an issue, and they're only up to 85 now. Wow. Oliver Belamonte says, Clobber, I ask myself on Ben Grimm, when he's the Thing, does his bedrock physiology severely delay his aging, and when he's human, he ages? Well, that's been talked about probably ad infinitum over the years. Good point, though. I don't know. I don't really know if I don't know if I know the answer. I don't even know if it's been chronicled. The chances are it's been addressed, though, for sure. I mean, he's been around for over 60 years, so I can't imagine someone hasn't messed with it in the comic at some point. So it could be. Oliver, it is an interesting question, that's for sure. But I'm afraid I don't have a definitive answer for you. So sorry. You never know. There's some things that mankind were not meant to know. And here's a new thing I got today also from TwoMorrows. Well, when it loads. When I say today, I mean I didn't get the physical copy. I ordered the physical copy today, but I've got the digital right away. Sometimes it just takes a second to load up. Silver and gold. Let's see. Sorry, it takes a second. Still loading. All right, there we go. This I'm really looking forward to reading as well. Because it is the latest issue of a mag I buy sporadically. It is, of course, Roy Thomas's mag Alter Ego. And I buy it when it has a topic or interviews that fascinate me. And this one is the Neil Adams tribute issue. So, I had to have that. Adams interviews conducted by Howard Chaykin, Howard Chaykin, Brian Stroud, James Rosen, wow, Richard Arndt, and rare and never seen Adams art, full-length tribute to one of comics' greatest artists. So, needless to say, it goes without saying that I had to have this puppy. Neil. I'm not trying to drag you down there, hungry boy. I know it makes you sad to see this, but it's still great that they're doing the tribute. You know what I mean, buddy? Yes, sir. Matthew Pounder. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Yep, one of the greats. Neil Adams, man. The Kree Skrull War. Yep. HB, the man led a pretty good long life, at least. I mean, certainly could have been longer, but He was one of the greats. Chris Perzer says, they actually just covered that in a recent comic. Ben Grimm lived to be over 3,000 years of age because he ages 1 week in every while in human form. Week every year while in human form. I must have missed that one. Thank you, though, Chris. Good. Well, someone's always going to know about it around here. That's for sure. I don't know which comic is though. You'd have to ask Chris which comic book that is. Let's see. So, yes, the great Neil Adams tributed his only good old alter ego in the TwoMorrows guys could do it. Also, yes, Tom Palmer also passed not too long after Neil. Hit one of his greatest inkers not too long after he was gone, which is sad. Yes, I saw this, Gwagnar. I saw this today. Got an email from TwoMorrows Publishing advertising their new Destroyer Duck It's the graphite thing, a book. It was strange, as I've never seen an email. Oh, they never sent you an email before. Weird. I get their emails all the time because I buy from them all the time. And that's a graphite edition of Destroyer Duck. Like, it looks pretty good. I might end up getting that myself. It's all in black and white, and it's showing a lot of original art from it. It's got a lot of articles and interviews and stuff. And I remember all the hoopla about Destroyer Duck when it came out. And of course I bought it, was excited about it. The whole Steve Gerber lawsuit against Marvel and such. And that looks like a pretty interesting book. So I may have to check that one out. I'll probably end up getting that one. Let's see here. Up in here. Let's see. All 5 Gerber Kirby issues are collected, but relettered and reproduced from Jack's unbridled, uninked pencil art. Yes, it looks really cool. So, Hungry Boy, I think I'm with you on that. The rejected cover looks more interesting of number 56 of the X-Men there. It's really weird looking in a sense, but I like it. I mean, the other one's the one I've seen more of course. It's a classic, I guess. But I think, oftentimes the rejected covers, there are times when the rejected covers I don't think are as good, but and they did, the other, but also because we only see the other one so much. It's different, isn't it? But I don't know. I might be with you on that one. He didn't like the logo being obscured. Martin Goodman whined about the logo being obscured. So, with kind of crap that uncreative creatures often whine about. Yeah, I agree. Hungry Boy is more. It is definitely more dynamic and dramatic. It is. But again, people with no creativity often rules over people with lots of creativity. That's the way of the world, unfortunately. Neil was amazing, though, especially back then. We never got enough of Neil Adams' Conan, you know what I mean? There should have been so much more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Goodman. Yeah. Yeah, well, he and Goodman and Funky were 2 peas in a pod, really. I have this one. I still have my copy of this. Look at $3 cover price. The Art of Neil Adams. Check that part 1 and part 2. I love that. I love that thing. Look, a Neil Adams checklist too. Wow. Neil Adams checklist. Let's see here. Neil Adams vital statistics, 1941 through 2022. Pen names: Harper Adams, joint pen name of Neil Adams and Steve Harper. Family and arts: Joel Adams. Education: High School of Industrial Arts, New York City. Member Academy of blah, 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 blah. Checklist. I thought this was going to be a checklist of his work. Oh, there we go. Wow, he did a lot of strip work, comics and other media. Don't talk about Crazy Man, though. We won't talk about. Oh, man. Wow. Neil before dead man. Yeah. Yes, sir. So this is a nice nifty mag. I love me some TwoMorrows mags, and so I won't encroach upon their goodwill too much. I just wanted to show a bit of a. I love these Neil Adams covers on these Tarzan books, by the way. But I just wanted to show a little bit of their how cool this mag is. So if you were a Neil Adams fan, it is a must. And there's one coming up. There's an issue of Back Issue magazine. What about Neil? Coming out. Wagner says, we needed more Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. Did we? Yeah, that was a continuity to that comic, didn't it? Gwag, I believe, maybe. And you needed it, so there you go. Wow. Yes, sir. Look, Bob Haney. They got Bob Haney right up in here. Oh, they're talking about Brave and the Bold and stuff. Nice. I got to read this part now soon. Bob Haney. There he is, right there, the man. Earth B calling Bob Haney. Earth B calling Bob Haney. You're Bob Haney. You've created Earth B. We can't find you. Please, Bob Haney, come back to Earth B. Look at that. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I love it. O'Neill and Adams. Wow, a con in the 70s. Look at that. Waggle. The Joker's 5-Way Revenge. A classic. Wow. Oh, boy. Nice. So anyway, this looks pretty good, like great stuff here. A great mag that I will enjoy soon, and maybe you will too. Who wants to see that? Who wants to see some Neil Adams cat woman? That's a treat for you guys. You gotta like that. Oh my. 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 Neil kind of copying himself right there in a sense. Look at that. That's fantastic. Yeah, no bacon shaking. Captain Power now. That's a name I've not heard in a long time. Maddie's daddy says, every time you say Bob Haney, I laugh a little. My dad's best friend, or one of them, was named Bob Haney. Oh, really? Wow. The other was Ted Arthur. Wow. Who JJJ mentions in Nicholas Hammond's Spider-Man show. Wow. My goodness. Crazy. I wonder if he was the Bob Haney, Maddie's daddy. What do you think? I wonder. That is, I'm well aware of that. Fanty Martin Goodman was married to Funky Flashman's husband. Cousin. Sorry, only Funky Flashman could be married to his husband. Can he? Kidding about? I'm just kidding. And it was a slip anyway. Bought that last Kirby collector. Can't believe they shrunk it down to a regular man. I hated when they did that. I love when Kirby collector was the big treasury size, even bigger. I first read the Joker's Fight with Revenge in the trade paperback collection, the greatest Batman stories ever told. I still have it. Yeah, great stuff, man. No, he worked in plastics. Gotcha. Not that Bob Haney. He was on a completely different Earth B. I hear you, brother. Oh. So I know I can't get enough of showing this thing. Such cool books. That's an upcoming convention. And there we have it. A brief look at a great mag that I just got, and I cannot recommend enough the great products that TwoMorrows puts out. I love Alter Ego magazine. You know, I have every issue of the Jack Kirby collector and every issue of Back Issue magazine, and I just adore them. Love them. That was the first splash page I ever saw. Triton of the Inhumans didn't know who he was, but he looked cool, said Fanty. Yeah, from the Kree Skrull War, huh? Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah, well, greatness. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I can't wait till the next issues come out. They got I'm really looking forward to some of the back issues of Back Issue coming out. They got the very next issue of Back Issue magazine is going to be is also going to be about Neil Adams. So that would be really cool. And I also got, where is it? Let's see. Last week I got caught up on, and I think I showed this, but I got caught up on my latest issues of Back Issue. Let's see. There we go. So, well, next, what do we do? What do we do now for the rest? Anybody have any topics of comics that you think I might be able to help you with? If you want to ask questions or anything now, I'm not doing much at the moment. You can feel free to ask. If I can help you with it in any way, you could just, or the question you need answered about comics or just something you want to bounce off of me. Now's the time, because this is Open Comics Talk, Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk. Next week, we're going to have a guest, and of course, Wednesday night, going to be busy hanging out with D-Bud, talking some Iron Man comic. So if anyone can think of anything right now, it's a good time. Because other than that, I got nothing other than just time to hang out with you guys and talk comics. So if you can think of something, now is the time. What the? Well, let's see. There it is. But I love this latest issue of Back Issue. Superboy of the Bronze Age. You couldn't come up with a better topic. And I did show this. I believe I did show this last week, now that I mention it. But I'm sorry. It's Superboy, so why not show it some more? Well, people don't want me to work. Goodbye. I'm never coming back. That's a Neil Adams cover as well. Dave Rayborn. Okay. Explain the Warlord comic. Okay. I can do a little bit of that. Again, the Warlord comic from the mid to the early to mid 70s by Mike Grell. Basically, a gentleman named Travis Morgan, who he gets trapped into the center of the earth, and then it's not. It's been. It was kind of an attempt to do something similar to the Lost World, to John Carter, to various types of stories where some fish out of water, a man ends up in a completely different land where he's the only one and becomes this big warlord, the hero. In other words, I love it. It's not particularly. It was not something that was considered particularly original, maybe. I'm not insulting it by any stretch of the imagination. But it is something that you could definitely say is heavily derivative. To put that in diplomatic terms, however, it was a beautifully done book by Mike Grell, of course. That goes without saying. Should go without saying. Let's see here. I'll have some pics of it. And I read some of the earlier issues a while back. There you go. There's some pics from it. And it's pretty simple. Anyone will tell you that's a pretty basic premise. He ends up going into that world in the middle of the center of the earth, very much Edgar Rice Burroughs like, very much Lost World like, very much like a John Carter type thing as well, or what have you. And there he is, in a nutshell. Anyone else here read Warlord? And if so, did I if you have anything to add about it, because again, I have not read a Warlord comic in ages. I know Minimus read it regularly, and I know a lot of people did. I love Mike Grell. I love his Legion stuff, especially. Fanty says, I was shilling for both Superman 149. Excuse me. And 164, but you and J-Man are soon going to do Superman 149, as the death of Superman has an early Legion of Superheroes appearance in it by Jerry Siegel and Kurt Swan. Gotcha. Hey, Apollome's Minion. Good to see you, my dear. And hello to the pupper. I hope you're doing well, my dear. Dinosaurs and evil wizards and chicks in fuzzy bikinis. Warlord. Yeah. So what about, did I get it close then, Hungry Boy? Is there not a Warlord omnibus? Maybe not. I'd have to ask Minimus. Minimus popped in earlier. Is there a Warlord omnibus? Yeah, when Grell left, I imagine a lot of people left, even though like Dan Jurgens did a lot of it. There you go. Great. I mean, great looking book, though. Oliver Belamonte says it was surprising in the closing scene of Titans Season 4, Episode 9, where Beast Boy explores the multiverse. JLA Doom Patrol writer Grant Morrison makes a cameo as Lex Luthor. Weird. I never could stand that Titans show, so thanks for telling me that. That is weird, though. Oh, well, thank you, Hungry Boy. I wasn't sure. Yeah. Wagner, there was a short-lived. I mean, it wasn't a. I don't know how much of it you would call it a toy line for Warlord. I know they had a couple of toys, but I don't know how many were in it. I mean, I never even saw it anywhere. I've seen pictures. They tried to make a couple of Warlord toys. Yeah, I don't know how many though. Good question. Any other questions, Dave Rayborn? Because that was a good one. What made you think of that, dude? I like it. There was a showcase. Apparently. Oh, there you go. You know, it had a pretty long run. Warlord had a good long run for Grell. You know, even after Grell left, it went on for a while, like I said, but it had a pretty long run. Yeah, the art was great when it wasn't being ruined by Vince Coletta. I'm with you. I think Grell was doing covers way after he left. And I'm not sure if he was, if he didn't leave the penciling to somebody else. And he came back and did some. It was always a cool looking comic. You know, my favorite Mike Grell stuff, and I got to meet him. Nice guy. I was giving him his autograph and stuff. Obviously, it's his Legion stuff, and he didn't give a flip about the Legion. But I love his Legion stuff, of course. And I love John Sable. That was a great. John Sable Freelance was a great comic. I love it. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good curveball there, Dave Rayburn. Dave Cousin. I like it. Thinking outside the box, I would not have expected a question about Warlord tonight. You understand what I mean? Everybody, you know, would you have expected, be honest, guys, would you have expected a question about Warlord tonight? I wouldn't have. pretty cool. I'm glad of it, by the way. Interesting indeed. Yeah. Again, I love his outfit too. It's pretty cool. Now, of course, I'm sure you probably know, Dave. I don't know, but there was an episode of the Justice League Unlimited show toward the end of that run of that show where they actually had Travis Morgan, Warlord, in an episode. The Green Lantern, Stargirl, and Supergirl crash landed into Scartaris in the center of the Earth and had an adventure there. Yeah, I like this Green Lantern, Green Arrow stuff too, Hungry Boy. Yeah, of course. The toy line, thank you, Kal-El. The toy line was launched 1982 by Remco, and it was called Lost World of the Warlord. They were scaled to play with Masters of the Universe action figures. But how many were there, do you know? We'll take a look at that, Cal. That's interesting. I haven't looked at those forever. They got pictures of them in there? Warlord, there you go. They had Arak toys? Oh. There's Warlord himself. Crazy. Yeah, I've seen that toy, but I didn't know was there more? Hey, Cardi, what's up? Says sounds like Warlord might have been trying to take up the same audience as Conan Barbarian for Marvel. You know, pretty much. Although, yeah, it was a very similar type in that sense. Although it was, again, like I said, it was derivative of At the Earth's Core by Edgar Rice Burroughs, and then some John Carter sensibility to it. Stuff like that, Lost World, that sort of thing. But yeah, and then they did that. They took a lot of shots at trying to be like Conan for DC. Not just that, Claw, the Unconquered, or whatever, and a couple other ones much early on, and when Conan started gaining popularity. DC, it's always been the case. Marvel see, Marvel do, but it's also been DC see, DC do. It just doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well. But yeah, they sure wanted to do that, but couldn't beat the Conan. Couldn't do it. So yeah. So it was good stuff. Mike Grell's great. So, love his Legion. He didn't, but I did. He didn't love his Legion, but I did. Blunt Philly Reviews, what's up? I was looking at a hardcover archive of Russ Manning's Magnus Robot Fighter at the local shop. I made an offer, waiting to hear back. Excellent, Brian. I love Magnus Robot Fighter. And I thought Russ Manning was an underrated artist. And I don't have any of those older Russ Manning Magnus, so that's cool stuff. I've seen some of those really nice archives, hardcovers. I hope you get it, man. I hope you get a good price on it, too. Love it. Right, Cuz says kind of coincided with the rise of Heavy Metal magazine that had a lot of the same type graphics and edishness. Thanks again for that, Kal-El, buddy. By the way, I appreciate it. Bluntfield Review says, if it's good, I say let the adaptation speak for itself. It's a fair cop, but society is to blame. Best part about Warlord was Grell was shedding his Neil Adams stuff and entering his own style. Yeah, it's a fair cop. Yeah. Cool stuff. Again, it lasted a good while. I mean, had a good long run. So it was popular. Must have been lasted a lot longer than a bunch of titles. If he knows what I'm saying. If you catch my meaning, if you get my drift. Sir. Boom, 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 boom. Yes. I'll tell you what. I am so looking forward to hanging out with D-Bud on Wednesday night, talking some Iron Man. It's going to be a lot of fun. For those who don't know about that, that's going to be Wednesday night. D-Bud and I are going to be talking some Iron Man finally. Was review an issue Out of the Blue. And it's a Tuska issue, too. That's going to be great. I want more stuff to review. It's tough. There's so much to choose from. So much to choose from. Talking some Tuska, buddy. We're going to show George Tuska the love that you believe he deserves. And I'm not going to argue with you at these solemn proceedings. Yeah, so no, that's cool. Now, there's some of his stuff I haven't liked, but, you learn a lot about these artists when you get older. You're like, damn, the times these guys went through. I don't think I want to make fun of them anymore. Who? Boom. No. So, yeah, what are you gonna do? Anybody else have any scintillating questions about comics? Throw one out there. I will knock it out of the park. Or I'll get somebody in the chat to do it for me. Wagner, that particular issue, you would have to ask D-Bud, but I think it's he's answering it right there, isn't he? I'm an idiot. Wagner was the first Iron Man comic I bought off the newsstand. Great one. And because a good while back, before D-Bud and I knew each other very well, I was on here blabbering around. I make fun of comic book artists. Now I put it in the context these days. But it never was much of a Tuska guy. I admit it. I never was a big fan of his art, although I knew he'd done some stuff that I did like. Now, don't get me wrong. But still, I just wasn't the biggest Tuska guy. But there are artists I dislike more. And of course, I knew that he had fans. And my buddy Hungry Boy, not Hungry Boy, sorry, I mean D-Bud, sorry, Hungry Boy. D-Bud happens to be one of them. And certainly didn't take kindly to me, knocking one of his favorite artists. So we had friendly back and forth about it a little bit. And then we've talked about it. And eventually, you know what? I thought, we thought it would be kind of a cool idea to talk a little bit about George Tuska's art. Frank Springer. Oh dear. Don't start. And then Hungry Boy has to go and be mean to old comic book artists. Dude, come on, man. So George Tuska was around a long time. I acknowledge that. By the way, my beloved TwoMorrows magazine did a whole. They gave him this whole book there. D-Bud, I'm sure. Do you have? By the way, D-Bud, do you have this book? The Art of George Tuska. You saw too much Vinny inked Tuska art. Yeah, that's true. But do you have this mag, D-Bud? Okay, cool. You'll be showing it. All right, cool. I got to admit, I never bought it. George Tuska worked a long time in the industry. Marvel and DC and many others. George Tosca, of course, also for years. I don't know if I never had this strip. Did any of you live in a city that had a newspaper that had this in the 70s and 80s that had these syndicated strip World's Greatest Superheroes, which was the DC Heroes? Tosca did that for a long time. I wish Klein had inked Tosca in the 60s. Would have looked great, says Hungry Boy. Yeah, George Klein was going to ink her. So Tosca, it looks like a commission he did for a fan right there, that Superman one. But yeah, he did. Yeah, Tosca worked in the Eisner workshop, or the Eisner sweatshop, didn't he? The Eisner Iger Studios. D-Bud, didn't he? So I was a little kid and I was seeing some stuff that I did not like of his, and I made fun of him. And I've never been all that well disposed towards him, but I never had a problem with his Iron Man because I think he did a lot of good stuff on Iron Man. But like a lot of artists, he was very old, and when you put certain inkers on him, yeah, did some Heap stories. That's right. Wow, Matthew Pounder, that's obscure. He did some Heap stories, so I think you might be correct, sir. Yeah, he drew the big red cheese. But he was a good artist. I guess he wasn't as flashy as some people expected him to be. But he needed inkers to leave him alone a lot of the time. But that's probably true of a lot of people. Hey, look, he did a Buck Rogers strip even. Wow. George Tosca. George of Tosca. D-Bud, did you ever get to meet George Tosca? I'll be asking you this stuff on Wednesday night, of course. But yep, we did. I hear you, Brian. So I don't know, man. George Tosca was around for a long time. When did you ever get to meet him, though, D-Bud? Let me know if you're still here now. I know you would have if you could have. But there were times as a kid, I admit it, I didn't like his style. I mean, I don't know. But he did a marvelous job. And of course, for a lot of people, he was the Iron Man artist. And I can understand that. But anyway, we'll talk more about that and Mr. Tosca on Wednesday night, wildcard Wednesday night, which won't be that wild. No, I usually didn't work conventions, and so I didn't meet many artists. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Well, that's too bad. Too bad. He was I'm told he was a nice fellow. And even though you don't always want to meet your favorite artists. So anyway, that's going to be fun. Mr. Tosca. And then, of course, don't forget, everyone, next week we're going to have Hungry Boy on to talk about the greatest inker of all time, Vince Coletta, and why he loves him so much. Yes, by the way, Wednesday will always be Tusk's birthday. That's right. Well, we'll pay a tribute to him. And Hungry Boy will talk about how Vince Coletta is the greatest inker of all time. He'll do that on a subsequent, bar none, the greatest. Does that work? No. Bueller, no. I'm getting nothing out of the Hungry Boy. He must have ran off. No, man. See, it's easy to beat up on Coletta, but my question to you, Hungry Boy, as the artist, is this, buddy. Excluding Vinnie Coletta, who's the worst inker of all? See, you take Vinny out, it ain't so easy, though, is it? You had to give him time to answer, but Vinny was the greatest inker of all time if you were an editor wanting to make deadlines. Yeah, of course. Guagnar, Trip Liar's top 10 Vinnie Coletta comics. Wow. I can remember two Vinnie compliments. Your shortest stream ever. Coletta inked everything as if it was some romance book or a coloring book. But you ever notice how he must have really did a lot of the things I read about that he did? And people talking about what really, really bad crap about him. And you never hear anybody talk in the comics industry. There are two guys that nobody defends ever when you talk bad about them. They're Bob Kane and Vince Coletta. Well, maybe Howard Chaykin. But I think it's those two. No one ever defends them. Blutville Review says no guy named Vinny has ever been a first rate at anything. Sorry to any Vinnies out there, but it's true. Wow. What about my cousin Vinny? I don't know. So, excuse me, everyone, having a little piece of chocolate there. Needed it. Needed to pick me up. It's true. It's those two guys. Name me anyone else. I mean, everybody gets criticized, almost everybody, but as far as you name the comic book artist, writer, whoever it is out there getting trashed, and you can find someone to defend them. What is it? You, Andy Masterson? What's up, buddy? Good to see you. It can be one of the least popular writers or artists, but there's somebody, because I've done that. There have been people I thought, I'm sure nobody will like this artist, and I'll say something, and someone go, "Oh man, you don't like so." But in all of comics history, there are only two guys that I've never heard defended by anybody. I'm not sure if anyone's ever defended Bob Kane for his despicable acts, and he's being attacked on a human level for doing something crappy to Bill Finger. And I know about that book, The Thin Black Line, Guagnar. I never got it. I almost want to get that book. It's cheap now. I was going to be The Thin Black Line with TwoMorrows. I need to get that. That's about Vinnie Coletta. But I've never heard anyone defend Vince Coletta, except maybe like Jim Shooter is the only one I've ever seen him do it. And that's because he liked how fast he was. And editors, but they don't count. Any editor defending, forget about the editors who defend Vinnie Coletta. We know they don't count. Yeah, I agree. Matthew Penner, Jack Abel's a terrible inker. Springer was not good either. But somebody will defend them, though. Maybe. If you defend Jack Abel, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Jack Abel might be worse than Coletta. I don't know. And I'm not saying that just because he was Howard Stern's uncle. So, I don't know. But I've never heard anyone other than TwoMorrows made that book, yes. But for the most part, I'm not going to mention the guy who gets defended too much. I'm not going to. Funky Flashman is low hanging fruit. Sorry about this. Mark D, what's up, dude? I'm sorry about your Rangers, dude. You can feel free to pop in if you're available. If not, no biggie. Dude. I'm sorry they lost, buddy. I'm pretty sure even the members of Batman's Rogues Gallery, if they were real, of course, would condemn Bob Gaines' actions. Yeah, but Hungry Boy, did you give me See, wait a minute now. Jack Abel was okay on Shogun Warriors inking Herb Trimpe. I've never seen Jack Abel look good on anything. Maybe he was a good penciler in his youth in the golden age or something. But man, his inks, boy. Ooh. But okay, but fair enough. I mean, I can't look at that to be sure, but wow. So who's the if you leave Vinny out of it, who's the worst? Give me another bad inker. Hungry Boy and D-Bud. I'll say one thing for Vinny, says D-Bud. His thin line style actually gave Thor a look that sort of fit the mythic tales of the gods. I'd still prefer Chick Stone. Thicker lines aesthetically, though. Chick Stone was way better than Vinny, but you knew that, yeah. Come on, I'm waiting, Hungry Boy. I'm waiting for my second worst anchor. Coletta was the poor man's Giordano. Wow, you put Coletta in the same sentence with Giordano, Matthew. How do you feel about yourself right now? Dude. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it's Abel. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. I didn't say it was good on anyone else. Frank Miller is now terrible. Yeah, Frank Miller's awful now, but he's old. Klaus Janson is now unbearable. Yeah. Whoa. Tim Sale was a garbage inker. Wow. Very different kind of a penciler, too. I didn't mind Sale stuff. I can't recall anything that he inked off the top of my head other than maybe himself, but if that. Yeah, a lot of people are that way about Klaus Janson. He's muddy. He overpowers people. I kind of liked him on Miller and even on did he ink Mazzucchelli? Well, you're the artist. That's why I always defer to you, man. I always defer to the Hungry Boy on this kind of stuff. I'll give you a penciler, someone I never liked as a penciler, but I kind of liked as an inker. And I want to see what you think about it. I never really could stand Joe Staten as a penciler. But as an inker, when he inks Al Buscema on Hulk, for example, I thought it was pretty good. A lot of people love Staten. Unless you have something like Bob Layton inking him, though. Ugh, wow. Darcipio, what's your take? Ask what's your take on the late Richard Corbin? As an artist myself, I always thought he was underrated. I love Richard Corbin, and he was also a nice guy. I met him once at a con. I loved him. I loved him on well, a lot of different stuff that I saw it on. I have a few things he's done, and so I liked him very much. Darcipio. It was a definitely a strange kind of style, but it was cool. Staten was a good inker, yes, but like this Power Girl. It's good to see him, Andy Masterson, buddy. Hope you're doing well tonight, man. Got to come hang out again, bud, one of these days. Let's see here. Who was it that Jack Abel? Oh, yeah. This is why I can't stand Jack Abel. Now I remember. There was a penciler, and I wanted to. I probably asked Hungry this before. Yeah, Staten I mean, I hate Staten's pencils, man. For about 5 years. I wanted him to leave Green Lantern so bad. Oh, God, I hated Staten on Green Lantern. But Jack Abel, one of my favorite underrated Legion of Superheroes artists who only did very few comic books in his life, James Sherman, when left to his own devices, was extraordinary. What a crazy talent. Really good. And when Jack Abel inked him, I wanted to chop things off of it. I wanted to punch holes in the universe. I wanted to punch, like, just make one punch, and it stops right there in front of me. But it punches everybody in the entire universe right in the ear or something. All of us should suffer, even on other planets. Even amoeba on Saturn should know pain with the way Jack Abel inked James Sherman. Exactly, Maggie Pounder. Every time Abel inked Legion. Oh, crap. I hear you, Younger Boy. Holy crap, man. I love James. Whatever happened to James Sherman is probably the crappy inks of Jack Abel that forced him out of the business. Guy was brilliant. Clobby's Alrod. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, no, Vinny's way worse, but Vinny, I guess Vinny would have ruined him too, but there's something special. And again, Jack Abel was probably really old. I don't know, man. He was horrible. Horrible. It was almost. It was even worse than when Byrne inked himself. And the worst self-inker of all time was John Byrne, in my opinion. Especially later Byrne. My Matthew Pounder. His inks always looked like a printing error. Yes. I like it. Yeah. Hey.
Hey everyone, how's it
Mark,
going?
you able to see? Hey, what's up, dude? What's going on?
Hell to the chat. Oh, I'm fine. I mean, it's just sports puck, and shouldn't take it that seriously. But
Trying to find you.
there we go. Rangers look bad tonight. God,
Shit. No.
there you go.
So you guys had a down game, did you?
Well, the Rangers were up 2-0, looked invincible, won each game 5-1, and then they came to home ice and then lost the 2 games on home ice, scoring 2 goals. So yeah, hockey can change with inches. So yeah.
Sorry,
they look, but plus they look bad too. It's one thing when your team looks good and then they lose. It's like better team got them, but they played crummy a lot. Well, especially this game tonight. I'm glad I didn't buy overpriced tickets. I mean, I don't take it that seriously anymore, but it's nice when they win. Yeah,
sure, always nice to win.
But thank you, but I appreciate that though. But
I got you. Yeah. Hey, I stand by that, hungry boy. I will say it again for the heavens. John frickin' Byrne is the worst self-inker of all time. In other words, someone inking his own pencils. At least in the modern era, because I know artists used to do their own inking way back before they were really inkers. But to ink yourself, and there were, by the time Byrne was doing it, there weren't many inkers doing it much. Not so much in his first couple of years of FF, but Jesus H. Christ. Later down the road in the late 90s and into the late 80s into the 90s, especially into the late 90s and 2000s, John Byrne inking himself should be like a hate crime.
When did inking originate? We got some comic book artists in the chat. When did that start where you had someone separately inking?
Well, it started early, but it started when deadlines became a thing. Pretty much where and more and more comics started being produced, and they realized that someone could pencil a comic book and they could have other people ink the thing to give him time to do more penciling and let other people do like a couple of different. It used to be like in packs, the inking or in packs, like they had little groups doing it or little sweatshops doing the inking and stuff, the finished art, things like that. But still, for the most part, artists would do their own inking. So it could have started as early as it started as early as a concept, as early as around the 40s and into the late 40s into the 50s. But as far as it became a really big regular thing, this is spitballing, way speculating. But somewhere into the 50s, and when comic books were a huge thriving business, they had deadlines, they had multiple titles. You could make a lot more of a living the more comics you drew. That makes sense, right? So, yeah, it just started becoming a thing where it became an assembly line process. Writer, scripter, whatever, or sometimes a lot of comic artists were writing their own stories. They would draw it all out there. They would pass it to somebody to finish the art so they could do another comic. And it became pretty much standard procedure in the 60s.
It was more for speed, I guess, or in terms of as you said, and Hungry Boy's got something here too. He says it needed to reproduce the art properly for technical reasons. Interesting.
Indeed. Yes, there were a lot of reasons for it. And then so it became the exception, the rule, rather than the rule, where an artist would actually ink himself. It happened, but not not all the time. And then, by the 80s come around, hey Sean Carter, good to see you. John. By the time it became the 80s, that became something of it really hardly ever happened. Good night, Maddie's daddy. Be careful, buddy.
Take care, Steve. It was fun having Maddie on the show last night. She's going to be
it was
YouTube star.
That's right. So fewer people were inking themselves. It just became became standard procedure in comic books that you would, you draw your comic and somebody else would ink it. You could get work done faster. We had deadline,
Yeah, colorist, letterer. Yeah.
So in other words, to be able to write, draw, and ink your own stuff, you had to be a superstar like John Byrne.
Yep.
who in the 80s, if you think about it, was one other than people working for independent companies, was the only one doing it that much. I mean, even
Yep.
Miller, he was having other people do his inks, and anybody working for the big companies, somebody was inking your stuff, but not John Byrne. Byrne wanted to ink his crap.
He was one of the big stars in the 80s, I would guess, right?
He was the
in the top,
superstar.
I
He
would
could do what he
say.
wanted.
You think he was number one in the 80s, or in terms of popularity, or he was up there, right, with the
He's probably
X-Men?
Frank Miller might have been the biggest star of the 80s, but John Byrne was right there, right behind him. Some
Right,
brains
yeah.
understand line weight better than perspective, Mark D with a C, and vice versa on the Abbott and Costello principle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So he just, after a while, when he became that superstar, his inks on himself were not good in the late 80s, but then in the 90s, they really got to be shoddy crap. But it was too late. He was too big for a while. And then, oh my
Well, plus, do you
God.
think some of it is rushing your work too to get it done?
Well, of
Maybe
course
if you're
he's
doing
rushing.
both,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah, I'm John Byrne. No one's going to feel to buy it anyway. People are going to buy it anyway.
Right.
He's writing his own. He got to do his own writing, his own penciling, and his own inking. And there are times when it was still, some of it was okay early on, but man, I got that. I got that big a couple years, year or two back. I got that Superman Batman Generations omnibus for a pretty good price, and I was reading. It's a good read. It's cool stuff. It's weird. It's got some crazy shite in it, but sometimes the art's passable. Because it's Byrne. I mean, I love Byrne's older art. I mean, him doing Superman and Batman, you would think would look good, and it does sometimes. But there are times I'm looking like this is an omnibus. This looks like it was never inked. It looks
it's
like
blown up too. It's blown
uninked.
up too in the omnibus, right?
Well, I've
It's
seen the
bigger.
other books too, and they were prestige format, so it's not that far off from what it was. So
Yeah.
in other words, it was done in a prestige format anyway. Those books. So it's just the omnibus. It's not that much difference. It's a little bigger.
Okay.
So, but yes, it is. It's a little bigger, but yeah, it's just
Not a ton bigger.
It looks unfinished. It's scratchy beyond. But it's like chicken scratch half of it, and he's terrible with backgrounds, and he's his own damn inker.
Yep.
It looks horrible.
He's Vince Clobberin himself.
He's worse. Let's see. Superman Batman. Look at some of this crap. Superman Batman the Generation. I mean, and again, and also some of it's so damn depressing. The idea is interesting. You know the concept
Of which
of the Superman Batman Generations. You may have bought the book when it came out. I don't know.
I can't remember now. Yep.
I don't know. You weren't buying a lot of DC though, were you?
Not as much DC. Yep.
Okay.
I was buying most Batman though. I was buying most Batman. Yeah.
The concept is interesting. The concept is basically this: what if Superman and Batman appears when they do, just like in other words, appeared in 1938 and 39, right? And their stories start there, and
they're old men.
They never stop. In other words, they don't have all the how they always change. They age. In other words, what if they age normal speed?
Yeah,
normal time.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So it's about the generations that follow them. So that by the time they get to the
Superman's
60s, they're older.
Man.
They got but he doesn't age much. And then later they find a way to cheat Batman with too. So I mean they live a long time, but this is about the other heroes age around them, their kids, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And some of it is you think, well, that's a pretty cool idea. Well, some of it is so damn depressing. I mean, they got some sick shit.
I remember that cover now. Yep.
Yeah. And the covers are fairly decent. I mean, let's see here. I should review it one day. It's like so big though. Burn sheeted with a lot of tone boards too, where you apply a liquid to make parallel lines appear. Terrible for comics, but save time. And they said people will buy it anyway, and so this is where they're very old right here. See, each one was a cut up on it. This was 1999 to 1929. 19 should have been 2020.
Wow.
Doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
1999 to that's a misprint to 1929.
Well, I think they're going. The right is 1929 and the left.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because that's right. Because I remember. I did read this one. Because remember, since he first appears in 1938, this is in 1929. He was Superboy in this one. I remember that. That's right. Yes, he was Superboy in that one. And so it deals with his son and their sons and I mean, there's some really messed up crap that happens in this comic. I mean, really screwed up. I mean, but it's interesting though.
I don't think I read it, but I just remember that seeing that cover.
Yeah, and well, there were like a couple. First of all, there were a couple different 4-issue series, and then there was like a couple of them after that came out with. And finally, they compiled it all into that big.
Those four. It was
omnibus.
4 issues, or was it?
There were a couple different maxi series and a couple specials. This is the omnibus.
Okay.
This is where's the omnibus cover?
I wonder if I have it in my archives. Let me check.
Where's the omnibus cover? Anyway, it's got some real cool stuff. And like look at that page right there. I mean, it's really fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Retro looks really old, which is
right.
Cool.
Because they met when they were
the
younger.
Batman wings. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I stopped reading it like in the last 3/4 of it. I need to go back and just kind of, because it gets really weird because they have to remember they live for like a long time and everybody else is, all the other heroes live normal lifespans and their family and all that stuff. So it's,
yeah. So everyone's aging out, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I do have it actually in my archives. Let's see. So you said some of the inking in that is just terrible.
Oh man.
Where I can show a couple pages. I pulled it up.
Some pages?
If you want, yeah.
Sure. Oh, you have like a.
Yeah, well, I have it on digital.
Thing? Okay.
Yep. Let's see.
I come to think of it, I could do that much. I have it too, and
I have this as actually like cool. Not that other site. This is actually. So here by John Byrne, 79.89. We're going back and forth there. Yep. So writer, artist, letterer,
with a different colorist, of course.
So everything. Yep. Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Well, look again. Some parts look really good.
Yeah,
this is all really cool stuff. The first 4 of them are really good. The stories and everything are cool.
I'll flip through. This is the trade, so I don't know how many pages are in. I think it's the whole thing. Yep. Yeah, he does a nice job of making it look old there. Yep.
Oh, it looks really good. I think in the last couple of books, though, that's when it's really.
That's when it gets bad. Yeah, that was that.
Well, in my opinion.
Yeah, that you were showing before. Yep. Yeah, I love the old cow.
Yeah, all this stuff's really cool.
Yep. I'm just gonna flip through quick. Just there. Let's see. Can I skip to? What do I skip? I forget on this one if I can get to the. Just show an example of something that's not so good.
Yeah, we have to get way toward the.
Yeah, maybe
middle,
let's see if I go. If I can skip here on this one. Oh yeah, I can just go like that. Yeah. It's 194 pages. So. Yeah, no, this is not looking as good to me right here.
Yeah, still not bad right here.
Background.
I think the worst is when he gets like these big outside shots, and they're like a shitty, like a city where there's a big fight outside or something, and it's like it looks, this is not too great either. At least
look how sloppy that is.
I really like this part of the story though, but when he was Superboy.
No, that's not a bad panel. I like that.
Yeah.
What a nice detail in that.
You know where he was worse though? Now that I'm thinking about it, his Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman was the worst.
God, in the 90s, his Wonder Woman. This all looks better than that. Yeah, this doesn't look too bad. Maybe my omnibus is screwed up. Maybe the omnibus made it look too big. This is a trade right here.
The end. Yep. This is the trade paperback. Yep.
See, that's not horrible. I'm telling you that my omnibus makes it look like dog crap. Yeah, I agree. Matthew Pounder, the Ultra Humanite stuff was pretty cool. Oh, it's a good read now, and this don't look too bad. Look
Who's
how
got
far
a,
off into the future. They're like in the 3,000 years in the future. Something crazy. Superman with the stupid white hair.
Yeah, why they give white hair? Come on.
Look at some of his Burns Wonder Woman issues. Jesus. God.
Yeah, I'll check out. All right, I'll check out one. See if I've got.
I can
Anyone
look for
know
him, but I don't
an
know what
issue
issue.
number? Well, I have.
Oh,
I have
no.
most of Wonder Woman. I'll goggle it. Don't tell Raquel. Let's see here. Just kidding,
Yeah.
Raquel. Burn Wonder Woman. I think I have
John
most Wonder
Byrne
Woman.
Wonder Woman.
See what numbers we got. 101 and 136.
Well, those are one.
Yeah, so 101 and 130 to 136. Wonder Woman Volume 2. Yep.
Is that what it is?
Here. Let's see if I got it. Yeah. See if I got that.
I got that. Super hippie. Yeah, no kidding, man.
Oh, I don't have Wonder Woman.
See, that was that story. I kind of liked the one when he was Superboy.
Yep,
and
you
Robin.
love that. You're a sucker for Superboy,
Superboy
too,
and
right?
Robin, yeah, and they had Robin in there and Kid Luther and stuff. Oh dear, oh dear.
Let's see if I can find 101. That count. Let's see if I can find 101. Yeah. Let's see here. Wonder Woman.
Was it volume
Wonder
2?
Woman. I just hear
was
that
volume 2?
Yeah,
all the world
2
is waiting for you and the magic that you do. Stop a war with love and make a hawk a dove, defending all red, white, and blue. Wonder Woman, it's a wonder you're a woman. I mean, oops.
Yeah.
Really hope that you're a woman. I don't want you to be anything else. Keep your pants on just in case. You're not a. Never mind.
Never mind.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, everybody. That thing got off the rails there. Don't worry about it. You didn't have to show that.
No, I know. That's all right. Yeah.
I mean, I mean, that was some. This is actually looks way better than the Wonder Woman stuff. I shouldn't complain about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, I wasn't buying that comic anyway.
Yeah, you weren't, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Wonder Woman. Where is Wonder Woman?
This is pretty cool.
Oh, this looks good. Yeah. I got to read. I should read it, right?
You
Not
have
too many comics to read and not enough time. That's the problem. Yeah.
Byrne, yeah. Also drew some good Trek.
I didn't like those storyboard.
Chris. What?
The photo ones.
The photo novels? No, I'm talking about when he drew Star Trek.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah.
And those had
Later
bad
ones.
inking too, by the way.
Yeah. I just didn't like. Yeah, I didn't like those. Yeah.
Well, after his first couple of years on FF, he started making everybody look too damn skinny. They already looked kind of skinny. It was. Joe Sennett made him look right. But what you gonna do?
Yep.
Well, no biggie, dude. If you can't find
No
it,
biggie. Yeah,
problem.
I got it. Yeah, we get it later. Yep.
Yeah, we'll get it later. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I appreciate you showing that. Now, maybe I need to go back and finish reading it. Maybe I was looking at some terrible parts of that book, but maybe I'm thinking about some of this other stuff too.
Yep.
Oh, let's see. Club, when you were saying that, you can admit you were thinking of Linda Carter. Well, who isn't thinking of Linda Carter? I mean, all the time, man. Jeez. I'm hating the current Marvel's ASM issues. Amazing Spider-Man, says Oliver. Hey, Oliver. Peter reunites with MJ in the pocket dimension, but it's heartbreaking when she tells Peter that she has kids with a guy named Paul. Wow, robbing Peter to pay Paul.
They told the writer not to go to any conventions for the near future. They couldn't guarantee his security.
Who was it? Slot?
I'm forgetting no, it's not Slot. He's off now. But
Nick Spencer.
Yeah, so I shall find out in a second. But
are you kidding? Did they really?
No, they told him not to go to conventions.
Why?
In the future. Because people are going to be so pissed.
Jesus,
So
really?
So MJ, I guess Peter Yeah, like I said, there's a pocket dimension, and they age differently. There's time travel involved. There's something wonky, and Peter finds her again. Like, you've been gone a long time, or something like that. It's like, here's my here's my family. So they have a couple panels they were showing that
Why
were
would you
like,
do that? It's so
because they hate
stupid.
MJ and Spider-Man. Let me find
Who
a
does?
news article. I don't know. They just want to get rid of.
Oh, okay.
They just
so you're
want to get
saying
rid of that.
this guy get threats or something?
No, but they said maybe you better not go to comic book shows.
Oh,
You know.
wow.
So I don't think he did, but they said, well, here's the article. So I'll show the article. So this is so spoiler warning, although we've already said it. Yeah, Spider-Man was
Crazy.
gone for one day. Mary Jane went and had 2 kids. And that's that I can't stand that art style from
Is that John Romita Jr.?
John Jr. Yeah, just it doesn't float my boat. But
No, nobody likes it. Nobody likes it except Hungry Boy. Ken Hungry Boy, he didn't like it either. Byrne did some Space 1999 comics at the beginning of his career too. That's right, and Willie and the Chopper Punch. Byrne made Johnny's too effeminate. Yeah. Wagner says, if fans are going to be so mad that they advise someone not to go to conventions, maybe they should have advised them not to write the stupid story to begin with. That's actually a good point there, Guagmar. And I mean, if they thought it was going to stir shit up so much, but they don't care. They like the syrup because no one else is talking about their stupid comics. Otherwise,
yeah.
So that's why they let that going.
Yeah, so I guess. Yeah, so 6 months after the events of last year's Amazing Spider-Man, Spidey did something so heinous and wild as to make his entire social network stop speaking to him, and Mary Jane start dating a single dad. Now Spidey Man is finally getting around to explaining what it was. What else is happening? But yeah, so it's just so I guess that's the something Spider-Man in a called Captain Infinity, like I said, in a timey-wimey direction. Yes, it's good old time moves faster in the alternate dimension story, but from the perspective of the real world. When Mary Jane got trapped in an apocalypse dimension, Spider-Man burned all his bridges, stealing a miniature fusion reactor from the Fantastic Four, and pummeling Captain America to escape. He did all this to recruit the only person who would help him, desperate for redemption, Norman Osborn, turned the fusion reactor into a dimension-hopping device so he could go back and get her. But all that web-slinging, punching, and mad science took him a whole day, which is apparently enough time for Mary Jane to meet another survivor, give up on getting rescued, fall in love, and make 2 entire humans. There's Parker Luck. This is extreme.
And it was a crappy, like a apocalyptic dimension. She was trapped in?
She got stuck in another dimension.
Right.
And while one day passed in our dimension, or our 616 universe, like 4 or 5 years went by, and she had 2 kids with this other guy, and said, "Peter's not coming to get me." So then says, "This is the first panel when they meet," and then, "Who are they?" He says, "Oh, this is my family."
It's been years then for her.
For her, yeah, 5 years, or like how old the kids are, I guess.
Kids look older than 5 to me, but okay.
Yeah, or older, or
they look
7,
older
or whatever.
Than 5, 7, 8, yeah.
Yeah. So it's amazing. ASM 26, I think, or 24, or
oh, God.
Yeah.
Zeb Wells, whoever he is.
Yeah.
Bad
so
fan fiction indeed. Because current Marvel wants to make Peter Parker the Spider Cuck, even money they will have him accept the new man and kids, and will support them all. Wow.
Yep.
Let that awful JR go away. Mark D with a C. I need extra toilet paper in 10 minutes. Otherwise, you don't like that? What's wrong with you? Oh, thank God I'm an X-Men and FF guy. This is terrible. Oh, terrible. What's it,
yeah, so it's bad.
Feels like they hired a writer off of TikTok and Instagram. Oh. Wait. Are they trying to say it's night already for Peter and Alter? Who? Alter? Time to be with MJ and
alter time, I guess. Alter time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Alter time, it was a capital A, so okay.
Yeah.
Peter to Alter time. So Captain America alters time to be with Peggy, and it's acceptable. Good point there, Chris. Sorry I messed it up. Yeah. We call it fan fiction. No, they're not fans, they're idiots. Worse than fans. I mean, there's some shitty fans, but usually they always like to blame fans or something. I don't even like to call things fan fiction anymore because of that. So that looks brilliant. Yeah, great stuff, right?
Yeah, no, here's the I gotta I had my VPN. Let me turn that on. You're gonna lose me for 1 sec.
Good. What the hell? We've lost our 2. He'll be back. Yeah, it looks like a bunch of garbage for me. What you got? What happened?
Well, here's the article of from our favorite
Marvel told Amazing Spider-Man writer to okay. Oh yeah.
Fans will be very mad at me.
Void conventions.
The most shocking issue of Spidey-Man in 50 years.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Amazing Spider-Man number 26. Yep. Evoking Amazing Spider-Man 121. Yep.
I haven't read it or anything, but I'm not shocked by it. Are you?
No, but so this is coming out May 31st. May 31st. Okay.
Okay, and everyone knows what's happening. So how are they shocked?
Yeah, it's not shocked. Yeah. Not shocked. Yep. Yep. I don't know. Should I buy 10 copies?
Yes, buy them all. Don't buy that. You buy that crap, right? Regularly?
I subbed to Spider-Man. Yeah, I got my run.
Man,
I have every Spider-Man comic from 300 up. So, and below that, probably 250. Or I don't know.
God, why?
Yeah. I know. I watched Star Trek Discovery too. Don't tell me why. I mean,
you don't pay money for it. Well, I mean, you do, but it's for a service.
They should have paid me. They should have paid me to watch it. Yeah.
So they tell them don't go to cons because are they getting bitched at? Who cares? I mean, they do silly shit like this all the time. Are they getting threatened? I mean, this sounds silly that they even tell them to do that.
Yeah. They
but
just all this
threats,
crazy,
I guess. But are they?
It's all this crazy stuff, and
yeah,
it's like when Moreland. I hated that whole Moreland storyline.
I hated that Moreland shit.
Where they tried to make it so. Yeah, it was Spider-Man. It wasn't really. There was like a god of spiders and stuff, and it wasn't really the radioactive spider. And,
no, I hate that crap. I hate that story. One more day. Yeah, but after they didn't even. Did they tell anybody to avoid? Did they tell Straczynski or anybody else, or was it whoever it was to avoid cons because of one more day? That's so silly. No.
Yeah, I mean, no one should obviously
give a fuck about this.
No one should. Well, fans will be mad, but they could be doing this for publicity too. But
yeah, no one's gonna care. Yeah, buddy. They want you to read Miles and not Peter. That's true, Brian.
Oh yeah. We'll go to the toy store. That's what you'll see. It's
Miles
Morales everywhere.
Miles
everywhere.
You got Miles of
Miles. Yeah.
Miles of Morales.
And they call him Spider-Man too, yeah. So
he's not Spider-Man. Only Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Well, dude, thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I appreciate you. We've been on for a good while now, and I want to thank everybody who was here with me tonight. Again, a big shout out to the great J-Man. Had such a good time hanging with him and Sean this evening, talking Legion. For everyone, this was just a great time. We'll be doing it every Monday night. It's gonna take us some time too, but it was fun. Let's see here. Before I do some show notes, you got anything anything to tell us before we get out of here?
Just I had a short today on Black Cat that only had 7 views, which is ridiculous. So we put the link in. But one of my other Spider-Man chaser videos up to almost 60,000 views on one video, which is the video where you do the least amount of work and gets the most views, which is hysterical. But let me put this. Everyone's got a Black Cat is come on, poor Spider-Man can't get MJ now, so he should be with Black Cat, I guess, right? But that was a big controversy, I guess. Who was better for Peter? But yeah.
Oh yeah.
So let me put that link in. Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Well, anything else going on? Just that?
Oh, and just that, and looking forward to Thursday night, and nothing.
Well, you got Toxic tomorrow night, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Toxic Tuesday, Death Wish. So I'm actually almost done clipping that ahead of time. So
cool.
That's a rough movie. Good. That's a rough one. And who would mess with Charles Bronson? God.
Nobody's smart. That's for sure. Well, everybody, again, I don't know exactly sure. Maybe next month that this will happen, but now I'm beginning to think it's going to be too daunting a task. I've been putting off for so long. But what will happen is both tomorrow night and Thursday night, Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 6 p.m. Central. I'm over there on Mead, the great Tom Connor's channel at Midnight Says After Dark, hanging out with that august body and great group, and talking about pop culture. Enjoy doing that. And then Wednesday night with Stone Loki and 24/7 Fusion Media, my good buddies, 7 p.m. Central, the comic book round table, which is more of a triangle, but we try to round it out when we can. It's very, it has us roundness in ways. And then
Right.
Wild Card Wednesday night has a wild card. The great D. Bud Martin will be joining me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I'm looking forward to this. A Clobby's Classic Comics Review special with the extraordinary special guest D. Bud Martin hanging out with me, reviewing Iron Man Volume 1, Number 6, by, of course, Archie Goodwin, George Tuska, and Johnny Craig, 1968. The book came out, and this will be so much fun. It'll be on the birthday of the great George Tuska. I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, don't forget the Clobby's Clubhouse. The clubhouse is in session with our wonderful first officer, R.M. Briggs, and great chief engineer, the aforementioned Mark D. with a C. And we will have Tales of Tomorrow, Jerry Anderson's UFO, and all kind of other geekness going on for
and
that.
a watch party before that too. Yeah, I'll post that.
Of course,
so we're doing the watch party. Yeah,
indeed. And then Friday nights. That's right. You got Mark has the watch party for that night's review episode of Shadow. Friday nights, 8:30 Central. It'll be part 3. This is a part 2 picture, but part 3 of the Comic Shop Boys and myself on Nicholas's channel, the great Nick Weiser's channel, reviewing Jim Starlin's epic, brilliant Bronze Age Warlock run. And of course, the great Hungry Boy joined us for the first 2, and I hope he will be joining us for the 3rd one. And then finally, Saturday night Star Trek. 4 more episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine reviewed. So I'm looking forward to all that funness. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. I do appreciate it. The great Eric K., the great Chris Padisha, D. Bud Martin, thank you all so much. Lord Thoth, the great J-Man, Hungry Boy, thank you, buddy. Kellel, thank you. Maddie's Daddy, thank you. And Fanty Outsiders, thank you. And shout out to Polly's Minion and the Pepperoni. I hope you're doing well. And everybody else who hung out with us here tonight, thank you so much. We'll definitely get you all shouted out on Wednesday night. But I cannot thank you enough for being here. Really appreciate you all. And thanks, Mark D., for hanging with us.
Thank you,
dude. And let us say, hey, great start to the week, everybody. Let's get a good start to it and have a fantastic week. It will fly by, hopefully, for all of us. Good night, everybody.
It's Clobberin time! Clobberonimo! I just love Clobberin time!